So my take is the added requests for conditions. I'm fine with everything that was brought up. I would personally, we're talking about funding our public schools. Our schools are funded mostly through ADA, which is students in our public schools. I would like to keep the school portion part only under the auspice of our public schools. Everything else I'm okay with that was brought up on the dais. Councilmember Fish, do you have anything?
No, I respect that view, Mayor. I mean, I initially was down for that. I think the income qualifier satisfies my need for this to go to folks who are vulnerable. Like, the council member said that there might be folks at those schools relying on vouchers or other types of assistance. So that kind of reframed it for me a little bit, and I'm okay with it not having that qualification, but I will, I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Councilmember McMorrin, do you have anything else?
No.
Thank you. Councilmember Burr?
Yeah, is there the inclusion of, if there is lack of federal funding, that this is null and void? And then nothing on the sales tax, though, if the sales tax doesn't pass?
To me, that would incentivize not passing the sales tax.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, I agree with everything in here. I just don't agree with the project moving forward as is, so I can't even support this. Thank you.
Vice Mayor?
Thank you. So one of the conditions that's really important to me is making sure that the vouchers are guaranteed. So how will that work?
Vice Mayor, who would guarantee the vouchers?
HUD?
If I can offer, sorry to interrupt.
They don't guarantee vouchers. I think they're subject to annual appropriation.
If possible, can we just include some language that makes it contingent on the vouchers being available from HUD versus guarantee? Because that would be difficult, but in the event that, I know it's late, apologies, Assistant City Manager, but if there's a way that we could potentially craft language that specifies that, whatever we have agreed, the certain amount, if that does not move forward, the conditions for the city to move forward with the loan would no longer be met. Is it possible, or city attorney, to include some if-then language in the letter?
I think what we had suggested was full execution of the AHAP agreement, which is the preliminary agreement between us and CCSM for the vouchers, which is subject to HUD review. So, the HUD local staff would review it, and presumably they would take into consideration how much funding we have. But like the city manager said, Congress could always, defund. Anything's possible in this environment. And if that happened, which is probably unprecedented, it's anybody's guess what would happen. There would be a funding gap.
Can I suggest we, in legal, please chime in, we keep the language that's already in the staff report, that federal funding for housing authority or city for housing vouchers is eliminated or reduced, the city can terminate.
Can you just identify what part of the document you're suggesting the amendment to?
It's on page 2 of the staff report.
Yeah, it's already in the staff report under the grounds for termination.
So it says federal funding to housing authority or city for housing vouchers is eliminated or reduced is grounds for termination. So the city wouldn't have to terminate, but we could, if no other funding sources were identified.
Vice Mayor, are you looking for more specific language than that? Or is that meeting your concern?
Yes, but I don't know what it is.
So even when the, sorry,
I was just going to say, I defer to our staff to craft language that protects the city if federal funding goes away.
That provision is fairly broad, and I think it does achieve what you are going for, Vice Mayor.
Okay. Okay, I feel good then. Thank you.
can I ask a clarifying question?
Yeah.
Even when the, the project is built, if the vouchers were revoked at that point, that is something that could happen theoretically? Okay. So obviously what we're trying to prevent is for that to happen before construction, but there's still this risk that if it were pulled after construction and after people are living there, then we would be also in trouble. Right? Okay, I just want to make sure. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry to end that thought. It seems like there's no way to prevent that from happening either. Okay, thanks.
Okay.
I think one way to prevent it from happening is not going forward with the project right now. There's too many uncertainties, too many unknowns. If we get that far along into the deal, we invested that much money and HUD decides to pull the rug out from underneath us, then what are we going to do? We're on the hook for that much. We come out of pocket more. I mean, it's just a snowball effect. Sorry, Mayor.
See, staff, if I may ask one more question, would that scenario be a threat to theoretically any 100% affordable housing project currently using vouchers, project-based vouchers?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And is this holding until after the big, beautiful bill is passed?
Big ugly bill?
It's unlikely that we would complete this document before the federal budget is approved. I think it will take us long enough where it will go into July, and apparently the federal budget is supposed to be passed by the 4th of July. So I think likely, but I don't know.
We'll have this document before that or after?
After. I don't think we would complete this loan agreement until after the 4th of July.
Do we plan to come back to council with this document? Okay.
So there's only one meeting in July.
Yeah, it sounds like the soonest we'd be back would be the
I think it's a
meeting in
Monday,
August.
I think it's a Monday after the 4th.
Okay,
And
I
can I
think it's
just
the
ask,
14th.
sorry, go ahead.
It's the 14th. Yeah.
Can I
okay.
ask a quick question? And does Community Corp of Santa Monica know that, are you aware of that timeline?
About the AHAP or?
No, about this loan agreement needing to come back in July for final approval?
Well, I was thinking that was going to happen this evening, but, I mean, I think.
Just wanna-
July is Still okay,
Okay, I just want to ensure that
yeah.
we're not cutting into that plan.
No, I think that's okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So there's no other conditions? So the way, I'm sorry? Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely want to wait till after the July 4th.
Okay,
That's it. Thank you.
okay. So do you have all that, Assistant City Manager?
Yep, that all makes sense.
Can you read it back?
So what you're recommending is the staff recommendations, including the ones I read verbally during my oral staff report, plus add a preference for Culver City part-time and full-time workers and Culver City public school students.
I think it was just for students. Or it was my request that it would just be for students and not just public students.
I think we need clarification on who's, I think the council needs to tell us, public school or both, all students.
My understanding is the majority wants all. I mean, the majority of the, I don't, I would prefer it was just our public school, but it,
I mean, just to speak on that, from an equity perspective, I think that is sort of addressed through the deed restriction of the project. So that's why I am okay with keeping it open to all students the families of all students who are students in Culver City. Thank you.
So we'll say all students and their families, K through 12, living in Culver City?
And any mention of seniors in that? Once
I
again,
think it'll be natural.
what's natural?
I think seniors who live in or meet any of those qualifications would apply, or would.
Because they're already resident, they're already here.
And it's
Attending
thank you,
school
attending
in
school
Culver City.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, not living in Culver City.
Okay?
That's in there.
Do we have a motion? Do you want to put that on there, Councilman, Vice Mayor?
We have a motion from Councilmember McMorrin, a second from Councilmember Fish, to direct the city manager on the terms and conditions of the $16 million loan to Community Corps of Santa Monica for the Jubilo Village Affordable Housing Project, as stated by the Assistant City Manager. Please vote. All members have voted. The motion passes 4 ayes, 1 no. No from Councilmember Vera.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I'm a little out of it. Yeah. Do we have any public comment? No?
No.
Okay. Any last comments from colleagues?
I do have a quick request. If we could get a report or, it's not a discussion, but a report from our CFO or their team around just outlining the various structural deficit issues that we've had from 2010 to the current cycle. I'd be very curious to kind of see that very clearly. There's been some ambiguity around that, so I'm curious about that. Thanks.
Are we getting nodding heads for this?
Yes, that's what I'm seeking.
I only see a nodding head from Councilmember Fish. And a nodding head from Vice Mayor Puza. Okay.
And one quick comment, Mayor, if I may. The Public Safety Committee, potentially making a Public Safety Standing Committee, from converting it from the Police Subcommittee, does that have a date coming up on the future agenda? We heard a lot of folks at the beginning of the meeting, and I wanted to make sure that we follow up on some of those items, such as privacy review, which was also agendized, but I don't think that has a date set. And I would love for those items I'd love for us to have that forum for some of the concerns we heard from the community today.
It's on the list. We don't have a date yet.
Okay, do we have any update on what is taking so long? Because I think those were agendized You actually probably have the date in front of you, but I think it was
Councilman,
January.
there's been a lot of requests to put stuff on the agenda.
No, I know, it's from January, though, and it's just converting a committee, so that's why I'm asking. It's not a comment on staff, there's a lot going on. Oh, that was just a question of, have we heard any updates on where that is in the, yeah. Do we know if
No, we
that's in
don't.
progress, or
We do not.
to come back to us? Okay.
Yes, every week when we meet with the different staff members that put agenda items together and tell us what they want to have, we will let them know that we're waiting on updates on certain things, and we go through it. And we're just still waiting for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
In your meeting, you can let them know that I brought it up again.
We will.
Thank you so much.
Does anyone else have anything? Okay,
Mayor,
yeah.
Denise Neal had been signed up for items not on the agenda, but was not in the
Okay.
room earlier. Do you want
Let's
to
hear her.
allow her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, council members, and community at large. I'd like to know if we can actually agendize a contingency plan in case the Section 8 vouchers and GR housing program are pulled. And I'd also like to know if we can look into the legality and the glitches in the affordable housing and the below market rate requirements for applying for these affordable units. I thought it was illegal for them to ask for 3 times the rent and illegal for them to require a guarantor with 5 times the rent. How can we address these glitches in the system that are keeping people out of the affordable units? They're being used to eliminate the people and to make the units unavailable. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion by Councilmember McMorro and a second by Councilmember Vera to adjourn. Please vote. The
Thank-
time is 1:36. That is a unanimous adjournment.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.